In transition, first thing I was looking for my friends basically when I came out of out of the water, and I saw the big banner, but they were on the other side. So I thought, okay, I'm sure they'll come this way because they saw me coming out of the water. And I went to the bike, and I didn't have my top on at the time, so I put my top on quickly, and then started getting the drinks in, the gels in, the food, all of that, and that went okay. After that, I was just heading onto the bike and onto the cycle course. So, and that was my favourite section of the course itself.
And what happened on the bike course?
As soon as I got on it, I just kind of put my foot down and went for it as I always do, because that's probably one of my strongest events. It started off really well because it starts on the flat, so I was overtaking loads of people on the flats. So it's a nice kind of introduction into coming out of the water. It's a nice introduction into the cycle section. So I got on the bars down, and then just kind of started going for it. 5 minutes into the bike ride, I started eating. I was really hungry coming out of the water. I don't know. It was obviously an hour or so of exercise. It's kind of, you're not drinking or eating. So first thing, after I get settled into the bike, I started eating, drinking, just to kind of keep my energy levels up. And then as I was coming around the lake, probably one of the kind of moments which I'll never forget was I got into a group of cyclists. There was a few along the way leading up to that moment where I was overtaking, and they were overtaking me, a few kind of people on tri-bikes, and then before I know it, we kind of started forming a group, not drifting between each other, but just keeping that distance and just kind of there and thereabouts. And one really special moment was as I was coming on that straight. I was probably doing about mid-20s miles per hour, about 25. And at one stage I was at the front, and just like about 8 or 9 cyclists all around me at 25 miles an hour, the lake on your side. At that time the sun was shining, and that was probably, and we kept going at that pace probably all the way leading up to the first hill, and it was incredible, absolutely incredible.
And what was your pacing like on the bike, strategy-wise?
Strategy-wise, I wanted to kind of take it easy on the first lap, just to kind of know the course a bit better, but that didn't happen. The thing is, I'm quite good on the hills, so I was really comfortable. I didn't want to kind of hold anything back in that race. I wanted to kind of give it all, and I wanted to get to that finish line and know I've really gone for it. So on the first, I'm relatively good on hills. When we got to that first hill, it's called the Beast. You know exactly what I'm talking about, Rhys. It's a great hill, and I probably overtook about 50 odd cyclists on there, and you just feel really powerful on the bike, on the hills. I've done a lot of training to back it up, so I was really comfortable with it. I didn't feel like I was pushing way too much. I was really comfortable. I was in the high gears, which was on the front, and it went really well. After that, rain started coming down as you get to the top of the hill, and obviously the weather changed quite a lot. Again, I'm used to it. I've trained in those conditions, and that's what made the difference. Is making sure you train in these environments. So on race day, it doesn't even bother you. You don't even think about it. All you're thinking about is who's in front of you and how am I progressing in the race, and that's all you're thinking about. Transition from the cycle to the run itself. At the end of the cycle, I was starting to kind of my back and backside started to get a bit numb, and I was looking forward to that transition. I got into the area, changed, went out. On the first run, you do four loops, 10Ks basically, in Zurich. And the first one, I was really comfortable, feeling good. There was a few, because it's like loops, you kind of start running with different people who are probably near enough the lead on their, I don't know, third lap or coming towards the fourth. So, and I was able to kind of keep that pace with them on the first lap. So that went okay. On the second lap, that went okay as well. I was quite comfortable, obviously, because my running background, it kind of helped quite a bit. But I've never done a marathon before, so at that point I was in kind of unknown territory for me. And I didn't know what to expect after that. Obviously I've trained kind of to go in these long hours, but I was starting to kind of lose energy. I started to kind of struggle a little bit. I've had, like, at the back of my knee started to get, like, there was a ligament which started to pull every time I kind of picked the pace up, so there was a few issues starting to kind of creep up and have a go at me, really. And so as I was getting through into the third lap, I really started to struggle. It was chaffing on the inside of my thigh, started to play up as well. It was chucking it around with really, really heavy rains, and it was the worst I've ever been, Rhys, and it was really, really bad. So what I started to do, I started to kind of slow down a little bit, just kind of build up. We got to the first kind of water station, energy station. Got like 3 bananas on the go and pretzels and nuts just to kind of get the salts back in. Just stuffing it down, some drinks, some Coke as well, just to kind of get some energy back in. So I started walking. I was really, really struggling, and I couldn't keep up. Every time someone passes me, I was trying to hook onto them, but sometimes they're going too quick. And then just out of nowhere, this woman came up, and I picked the pace up again, try and kind of stay with someone just to get someone to run with. And then this woman comes up, and we're kind of, this is good. She's kind of going at my pace. And as we're coming down, we kept that pace probably for about 20 minutes, half an hour. And I don't know, felt starting to feel a little bit better. And then before I know it, she started to drop off. I was like, don't do that. Then I shouted to her, I was like, come on, let's do this. And then she looked at me and she was like, and then she picked up the pace again. And then we started going for another maybe half an hour. We got to a station, we picked up some food and drinks again. I think she picked up a Coke, I picked up a water. I had some of the water, I was like, oh, do you want some? And then she took some, had it, and then chucked it away. And yeah, as we're going along, just kind of keeping each other motivated, helping each other just to kind of get through it. And then like going into the fourth lap, she was really struggling, and one of her friends was further down the line, and she's like, you go, or I can't go. And then I looked back, and she was in pain. She, like, I don't know, her hip or something went, and I looked back, and she was like in agony, I could tell, and I was like, as soon as she went, I was gone as well. I don't know what happened, Rhys, but something happened, just no energy. Again, loads of people overtaking me again, and I was down, and I was just out of it again. I kept picking the pace up, but you just start niggles, everything's screaming, your muscles screaming, knees screaming, ankles, everything, whole body's like, that's it, I had enough. And that was like, I've done loads of races before then, but that was probably the lowest I've ever been. And you just kind of, at that point, you just blank everything off. And all you're thinking about is, how can you just get through this race on your own, and that's it. I started shouting to myself, like, I've got a few moves, like power moves, just to kind of get the energies back in, like just get something. And when people, like, there's a lot of crowds obviously on the side, and you got your name and stuff, and everyone's shouting, "Come on, Senan, come on!" And at that point, I just kind of picked it up again, but really slow. I wasn't there. And then out of nowhere, this same woman, she's Swiss, Katrina, and she comes out of nowhere. She's like, "Hey, you okay? Come on!" As soon as you said that, I was. It's like a switch, man. It's like a switch. Something happened again, and I was back on it, running alongside her, overtaking everyone, and back in that same rhythm that we were kind of set off at the beginning, and we just plodded on in the rain, and before we know it, again, there's about 8 girls and guys behind us. We were like, it's like a road race. You get a group, and you're just looking back, and us two at the front, and you're looking back, and you forget everything. That's it. Everything's out there. You forget all the pain. You forget everything. It's just that moment where it's incredible, and you just maintain that, and you follow it all the way through to the finish line. I got to there was about 1k left. There's a marker, and I said to her, "This is the last k," and she's like, "Yeah, this is it." And we hammered it down. Not hammered it, but I just kind of ran into towards the finish line, and I started seeing my friends waving the flags and support, and I was like, "This is it, man. This is it. This is like the 2 years, the 7 months of flipping hard training, man. This is the moment, man, and I'm reliving it now." It's the best feeling you've ever felt, man. It's absolutely, you're fit, and the people around you, mate. That moment, no one can take that away